Hey sisters, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be looking at the plot analysis of Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury is a classic novel that can really get readers thinking about what our world may turn into if the government were to ever completely take over everything. The novel is a science dystopian fiction book set in the future. It is fictional because it is a made-up society that has not yet ever happened. And it is dystopian because the world connotates a dark, war-filled, unpleasant place to live. This dystopian society most likely takes place in Midwest America. However, it theoretically could happen anywhere. Ray Bradbury breaks his book up into three separate sections, each showing a different section in the main character, Guy Montag's, life. The first section, the reader learns about Montag's relationship with himself and with the world. Mr. Montag is a third-generation fireman, which, unlike what you would probably infer, he starts fires instead of puts them out. Firemen are used to destroy objects, mainly books, that the government has banned and or doesn't want. In the beginning, Mr. Montag appears to enjoy his job, as the very first line of the book says, "It was a pleasure to watch things burn," as well as the second page that says, Montag, Montag grinned the fierce grin of all men, signed and driven back by black flame. These two lines show us that Mr. Montag takes pride in his job and enjoys what he does. In the beginning of the book, Montag would represent to us what the common man is. He does this through the way he acts and goes about his life. However, Montag is a dynamic character, and his life is going to dramatically change. Montag's life changes when he meets a new 17-year-old neighbor, Clarice McClellan. Clarice plays an influential role in the development of Montag. Clarice is an open-minded, curious individual who makes Montag start questioning his life. On page 7, Clarice asks Montag, "Are you happy?" This simple question that Clarice intended to cause no harm in gets Montag to start thinking about his life and search for the answers behind this question. Clarice represents curiosity, individuality, and rebellion against society, and the people in the world that come for no reason. This is proved in the book when she makes Montag look deeper into what his life is all about after he is finished talking with her. Throughout the entire first section of the book, Bradbury's writing style is put on full display. An example of Bradbury's writing style and some literary techniques that he uses is on page 42 when Montag is watching TV with his wife. Here, he is watching with his wife and they begin to argue. The text says, "A great thunderstorm of sound gushed from the walls. Music bombarded him at such an immense volume that his bones were almost shaken from their tendons. He felt his jaw vibrate, his eyes wobble into his head. He was a victim of a concussion. When it was all over, he felt like a man who had been thrown from a cliff, whirled in a centrifuge and spat out over a waterfall, then fell and fell into emptiness and never quite touched bottom, never, never quite, no, not quite touched bottom, and never quite touched anything." As one can tell, Bradbury's writing style is descriptive and poetic, using vivid imagery for the reader to easily be able to picture what is happening in Montag's life. The second part of the book is about Montag and his wife, Mildred. They are deciding on what they should do with the books that Montag has stolen. Mildred is a static character, but she is an important character in the book and in Montag's life, as she is his wife. Mildred does not do much besides watch TV and listen to music. She also keeps to herself. Also, she attempted suicide. This may suggest that she has something in her life causing her pain. Through Mildred, Bradbury shows the people of society that are a victim of government control or just any type of control. She does not really stand out. Instead, she fits in with the rest of society, much like many of us like to do. The third and final part of the book has the climax and the resolution. In this part, Montag kills his boss Beatty. Excuse me. As I mentioned, Beatty is Montag's boss. He is a static character and represents control and maintaining order and enforcement. Beatty also represents society norms, as he does exactly what is expected of him when it comes to his job. He shows us when he tries to convince Montag that all firemen go through the curiosity phase, and that at some point all firemen wonder what is within the books that they are burning. Anyway, back to Montag. As I mentioned before, Montag is a dynamic character. Therefore, he changes throughout the story, and near the middle to the end of the book, he shows the biggest sign of change. When Montag kills his boss Beatty, he proved that he would go against society and the government officials and the power that comes along with being a government official, and he was going to do what he wanted. What he wanted to do was find out what was within the books that he is burning. In order to do this, he had to get rid of Beatty, and so he did. This shows how Montag's character went through a great leap of change. In the final part of the book, Montag's world gets hit with a nuke. After the strike, Montag and his friends, all of whom read and know books, go out and rebuild the city. The friends each have a couple of books memorized, and they hope to all rebuild by teaching people about the valuable lessons and stories within books. Their names are Faber and Granger. Both characters represent the people in society who are outcasts, rebels, and those who shy away from the pack, and they do as they want. They each play an important role in Montag's life when Montag is searching for answers on what to do with the crimes of harboring books. They give Montag the direction and support he needs to be able to realize that books are important to society and that he was a victim of government control. Granger and Faber play an important role in the development of Montag. Overall, Ray Bradbury is able to show a multitude of problems and scenarios of society within a dictatorship within his classic Fahrenheit 451.